Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we really try to cut through the noise and get you the insights you need to be truly well-informed.
That's the goal.
Today, we're diving into a pretty fascinating intersection where artificial intelligence meets the complex world of blockchain, but simplified so you can harness it.
Yeah, imagine being able to build sophisticated crypto applications, really powerful ones, without writing a single line of code.
Exactly.
So, our mission today is to take a deep dive into GraphLinq. We're going to unpack what it is basically, a no-code, AI-powered platform for blockchain automation.
Okay.
Then we'll explore how it actually works, its ecosystem, partnerships, and then tackle the really interesting part, the surprisingly varied, sometimes conflicting predictions for its token, GLQ.
Right, conflicting is a good word for it.
Yeah. The aim is you'll walk away with a really solid understanding of the project and, its place in the market.
And to do that, we've pulled from a good mix of sources. We've got the official GraphLinq docs, crypto wikis like iq.wiki, and a bunch of technical and financial analysis sites, CoinLore, CoinCodex, 3 Commas, CryptoMat.
So both the Tech Foundation and the Market Pulse gives us a good picture.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. So let's get right into it. When someone hears GraphLinq, what's the fundamental idea we need to grasp, this no-code revolution thing?
Okay, yeah. So at its heart, GraphLinq Chain is a layer 1 blockchain ecosystem and a development platform launched back in 2021.
Layer 1, meaning its own foundational blockchain, not built on, say, Ethereum.
Exactly. That gives them full control over where security, scalability, how things run, and its main goal is really compelling. Enabling automated no-code creation of dApps, decentralized apps, and other blockchain processes.
That's a huge promise, making it accessible. So what's the key problem it solves for someone who maybe has a great idea, but zero coding background?
Precisely. It really hits a big pain point. For non-programmers monitoring blockchain info or trying to build something new in the space, it's incredibly tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
GraphLinq is designed specifically to bridge that gap. It provides a much more user-friendly way to manage blockchain data without needing those special coding skills. It genuinely aims to open up blockchain to more people.
Okay, so it's built on its own layer 1. How does the no-code magic actually happen? What are the key bits of the ecosystem?
Right, the ecosystem. It's got a few key pillars working together. Beyond the GraphLinq chain itself, you have the GraphLinq protocol. That's the automation management solution.
Right.
And that protocol has 4 main elements. First up is the GraphLinq IDE, the integrated development environment.
The IDE. That's the visual part, right?
Yeah.
Where you drag and drop stuff.
Exactly. It's a visual drag and drop interface. Think of it like using small, self-explanatory text blocks, stuff like get Bitcoin price or convert to data. You just arrange them.
Like digital Legos for blockchain tasks? Okay.
Pretty much. Then there's the GraphLinq app. That's more of a platform for finding and using pre-made automation templates. Saves you some building time. Now, the real power behind it all is the GraphLinq engine. This is the core bit that takes your graphs, your arranged blocks, and translates them.
Translates them into what? Like actual code?
Into a specific set of instructions. JSON instruction opcode. It's like a recipe the blockchain can read and execute immediately as smart contracts and tasks.
Okay, so visual blocks become blockchain actions via the engine. What's the fourth piece?
The GraphLinq marketplace. That's where the community aspect comes in. People can buy, sell, and trade these automation templates they've built.
Fostering innovation and sharing. Makes sense. And you mentioned running these graphs costs something.
Yes, exactly. Running them uses computational resources, so it incurs transaction fees. And that's where the GLQ token comes in. It acts as the fuel.
Fuel, so it gets used up.
Correct. It's consumed during execution, which, interestingly, gradually reduces the token supply as more people use the system. Creates a kind of deflationary pressure, potentially.
That's an interesting economic model. But let's shift to the really cutting-edge stuff. The buzz around GraphLinq seemed to really pick up with its AI integrations. How does AI fit into this no-code picture?
Oh, the AI integration is huge for them. It's a major differentiator, shows they're thinking ahead. Back in March 2023, they integrated the OpenAI API directly into the IDE.
OpenAI, so users could add things like ChatGPT capabilities into their automations.
Exactly. You could build intelligent bots for, say, Telegram or Twitch, bots that could generate personalized messages, answer complex questions, analyze data, right within your workflow.
That's already pretty powerful. But then in December 2023, they launched something called the GraphLinq Intent AI LLM. How's that different? It sounds like a bigger step.
It is a monumental step. LLM means large language model, so it understands human language. But here, instead of you adding AI features, the AI auto-generates the entire execution workflow for you.
Wait, auto-generates, how does that work?
Use simple conversational prompts. Imagine just saying something like, deploy a token on Polygon, or maybe make automated trades on Uniswap.
Seriously, just say that and it builds the automation.
That's the idea. The AI understands the intent and generates the necessary graph across various chains. Solana, Polygon, Elrond, Avalanche, Ethereum, BNB chain, all the big ones. They describe it as a conduit between human language and algorithmic execution.
Wow, that sounds almost revolutionary, but maybe a bit scary. Like, if the prompt isn't perfect, could things go wrong? Security concerns.
That's a very fair and important question. Simplicity is the goal, but, robustness is absolutely key. The system's designed to translate prompts into precise executable code.
All right.
The aim is to remove human coding errors, letting users focus on the logic. But yeah, like any powerful tool, responsible use and careful prompt crafting are still important to get the results you want. Their proof of authority chain is also designed for secure execution.
Got it. Makes sense. Now, beyond the AI, GraphLinq has also been making moves with partnerships, right? Strategic ones.
Absolutely. Partnerships are crucial for growth. In March 2024, they announced a big one with DWF Labs.
DWF Labs. They're a major Web3 investor and market maker, aren't they?
Exactly. They came on as a strategic partner and the primary liquidity provider for the GLQ token. That's a significant move, aimed at boosting DeFi adoption on GraphLinq.
Okay, that's big. Any others?
Yep. In May 2024, they partnered with Mobular to integrate their crypto data API. That unlocks a ton of on-chain data for analysis right within the no-code environment.
More data for automations.
And they teamed up with ThirdWeb back in March 2023. That partnership makes it possible to deploy smart contracts on the GraphLinq chain without writing any code yourself.
They've also been adding support for more blockchains, haven't they? Expanding compatibility?
They have. They added logical blocks for Avalanche in 2022. Polygon integration happened earlier, April 2021, focusing on Layer 2 solutions and efficiency. Then Multiverse X, which used to be Elrond, in July 2021.
Okay.
Plus, they integrated with the KuCoin exchange. All this brings the total number of available no-code blocks to over 275.
Right, I recall their CEO, Frederick Moreno, saying something about putting powerful GraphLinq tools in their hands. Sounds like they're actively doing that.
Seems to be the strategy, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the platform, its AI smarts, the partners. Let's zoom in on the GLQ token itself now. What exactly does it do in this ecosystem?
Right, GLQ. It's really the lifeblood, the core utility token for the GraphLinq chain. It has a few key functions.
Okay, like what?
Well, first and foremost, it's used for transaction fees. You need GLQ to pay for the computational power required to run all those automations you build on the network.
Sort of like gas fees on other chains.
Pretty much, yeah. It pays for the work being done. Then there's governance.
Ah, so token holders actually get a say in things.
They absolutely do. Holding GLQ gives you voting power on the future direction of GraphLinq chain. That includes decisions like adding new functional blocks or even setting the pricing for execution.
So the community can actually steer the ship, so to speak.
Exactly. It allows for decentralized decision-making about the platform's evolution.
What about earning opportunities? Staking?
Yep, staking is another key utility. Users can stake their GLQ tokens. By doing that, they earn rewards and also contribute to the security of the network.
And didn't they launch a specific hub for this recently?
They did. In February 2024, they introduced the GraphLinq Hub. It's kind of a one-stop shop for DeFi activities on their chain, supplying liquidity, swapping tokens, yield farming, and of course, staking GLQ.
Right, I saw they have a tiered staking system. With APY going up to what, 17.5% for the top tier?
That's the figure they advertise for Tier 1, yes. Offers some potentially attractive yields.
And what about the overall token supply, the tokenomics?
Okay, so the total supply of GLQ is capped at 666,051,255 tokens. 650 million of those were created at the Genesis block.
Okay, and how is that supply divided up?
It's allocated pretty strategically. There are reserves set aside for migrating off Ethereum, a dedicated ecosystem fund, incentives for users and stakers, and a treasury. It seems like a distribution plan for long-term growth and network health.
Got it. So knowing all this, the platform, the token, what can you, our listener, actually build with this no-code approach? What are some real-world things people are doing?
Right. This is where it gets really practical and you see the potential impact. Automated trading is a big one. You can create your own trading bots and strategies using real-time data feeds.
Okay, trading bots without coding. I could see the appeal there. What else?
DeFi automation is huge too. Think about automating interactions with decentralized finance protocols. Things like yield farming, providing liquidity, swapping tokens.
Stuff that can be pretty time-consuming or compro got to do manually, right?
Exactly. GraphLinq can automate those processes. Then there's NFT management, automating things like minting, trading, maybe monitoring floor prices for non-fungible tokens.
NFTs too, okay.
And it even extends to social media integration. You could build bots that interact with platforms like Twitter or Telegram based on specific blockchain events.
Like getting an alert if a certain NFT drops or a whale makes a big move.
Precisely. Or automatically posting updates based on crypto prices or portfolio changes. It also enables cross-chain operations,
Meaning?
automating processes that involve multiple blockchain networks, like automatically bridging tokens, moving assets from, say, Ethereum to Polygon based on certain conditions.
Okay, that's pretty sophisticated.
And finally, data analysis and reporting. You can set up automated systems to collect blockchain data, analyze it, and generate reports or alerts.
Could you give us maybe one or two really concrete examples? Like, what's something specific someone could build relatively easily?
Sure. You could, for instance, create your own ERC20 token. That's a standard type of crypto token using their tools. Or you could build a Telegram bot that constantly reports the price of a specific token.
Okay.
Or even integrate a ChatGPT-powered chatbot onto your website that can answer questions based on data pulled via GraphLinq, all with minimal effort and, crucially, no traditional coding needed.
Wow. It really sounds like a versatile toolkit for automation in the Web3 space, almost like a playground.
That's a good way to put it. It lowers the barrier to entry for building quite significantly.
Okay, now, let's dive into the numbers. We've pulled together some current snapshots and, more interestingly, the long-term price predictions for the GLQ token.
Yeah.
And this is where things get, well, really fascinating because the forecasts are all over the map.
Yeah. All over the map is a good description. Even looking at the current price as of around July 4th, 2025, there are slight variations depending on the source.
Right. CoinLore and 3Commas both had GLQ around 0.0189 USD. Cryptomat was showing 0.0161, which translates to roughly 0.0175 USD.
But then, interestingly, the official GraphLinq site itself listed a higher price, closer to $0.039. So, always worth cross-referencing.
Definitely. And the market cap seems to be hovering around $6.4 to $6.5 million, placing it somewhere in the, hashtag 1850s by market rank.
That's about right, according to those sources. But yeah, the real aha moment, like you said, is when you look at the long-term predictions, the divergence there is pretty stark.
It really is.
Yeah.
On one end, you have what we could call the pessimist sources, like 3Commas, Light Finance, Trading Beasts, Wallet Investor. They generally see the GLQ price staying relatively low. Some even predict it declining further, maybe into the DARA1 range or even less by 2030. Some forecast a significant drop. 3Commas, for example, suggests a max price of only around $0.02 before 2035. What drives that kind of bearish outlook?
Well, those kinds of prediction models often place a heavy emphasis on current market trends, historical price volatility, and maybe broader economic factors. They might not be weighting the potential impact of future technological adoption or ecosystem growth as heavily. It's often a more conservative projection based on extrapolating current or recent conditions.
Okay, so more backward-looking, perhaps. Then you have the cautiously optimistic camp. CoinCodex falls in here, maybe?
Seems like it. CoinCodex does predict increases. They see potential highs reaching maybe $0.13 by the 2029-2030 timeframe.
So definite growth compared to now.
Yes, but, and this is important, CoinCodex explicitly states that their algorithms do not project GLQ hitting really high targets like $1, $10, or $100 by 2050. Their highest estimate seems to be around 0.237 cents.
Okay, so more tempered optimism. What's the likely reasoning behind that middle ground?
CoinCodex's algorithms probably acknowledge the utility and the potential for adoption that we've discussed, but they also likely factor in the competitive landscape. There are other automation tools out there, plus the inherent challenges of scaling any blockchain project, and just the general volatility and uncertainty of crypto markets. That leads to a forecast of more moderate, gradual growth rather than something exponential.
Right, and then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the bulls. CoinLore, for instance.
Yeah, CoinLore presents a significantly more optimistic picture, much more bullish.
Their numbers are way higher. They're talking 0.1657 by 2025. 0.3823 by 2030, and get this, potentially up to $1.33 by 2040.
It's a dramatically different outlook. They even suggest it could surpass its previous all-time high and maybe hit $1.92 within about 10 years, by 2041.
What could possibly justify such a wildly different forecast compared to, say, 3 commas or even CoinCodex?
Well, that kind of bullish perspective likely puts a much higher emphasis on the transformative potential of the core technology. The no-code AI, the automation capabilities, they might be modeling a scenario where GraphLinq achieves widespread adoption, becomes a dominant player in its niche,
Okay.
leading to a massive increase in demand for the GLQ token as fuel, and for staking, driving up the price significantly. These models often project based more on the potential success of the innovation and its market penetration, sort of a best-case scenario playing out.
It's really striking. This huge range in predictions just underscores how volatile and, frankly, speculative the crypto market can be, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It highlights the difficulty in forecasting long-term value.
So what are the key factors our sources pointed to that can actually influence these prices, driving them up or down?
There are several, both macro and micro. The wider economy is always a factor, of course. Government regulations are huge things, like new tax policies or restrictions on crypto activities can have a major impact.
Right, regulations are always looming.
Then there's the impact of newsmakers. Influential figures, maybe celebrity endorsements, even just viral tweets can cause rapid shifts in sentiment and price. Competition is also critical. What are other projects doing in the automation space?
And technological changes too, I suppose.
Definitely. Ongoing developments within established blockchains, new innovations. The whole landscape is constantly shifting, and that affects individual projects like GraphLinq.
It's certainly a dynamic and complex picture, which naturally brings us to the all-important disclaimer.
Yes, absolutely crucial. We need to emphasize that all these numbers, all these predictions, they're expert suggestions, they're analyses, forecasts. They are not financial advice.
Cannot stress that enough.
You absolutely must do your own research, DYOR, as they say, before making any investment decisions in crypto or any other market. Understand the risks involved.
Well said. Okay, so we've taken a pretty deep dive into GraphLinq today. We've unpacked its innovative no-code approach to blockchain automation, looked at those really powerful AI integrations, and its growing network of partnerships.
And we navigated that fascinating and wildly different landscape of price predictions for the GLQ token. Really highlights the volatile, sometimes unpredictable nature of this market, doesn't it?
It really does. But zooming out, GraphLinq's mission seems pretty clear and compelling. Democratizing blockchain development, making these complex tasks accessible, whether you want to build a trading bot or manage NFTs or automate DeFi.
Exactly. It's fundamentally about empowering you, the user, to harness the power of decentralized technology without needing that deep developer background first, lowering the barrier to entry.
So that leaves us with a final thought to ponder. When you have a project like GraphLinq offering such a compelling vision, easy, no-code automation powered by AI, how much does that technological promise, that potential for innovation, actually weigh against these starkly contrasting signals we see from market forecasts? How do you, as someone trying to stay well-informed, balance that potential of groundbreaking tech with the often unpredictable, sometimes irrational currents of market sentiment when you think about the future of Web3? Something to chew on.